Deuces, y'all. This is The Expanse. I'm your host, T. Um, I would like to call this a part of my maiden voyage, a part of my initial videos, because I did a video earlier in regards to the Yankees. So, welcome to part two, or still the second part of the initial voyage. Hey, look, I think that it's without debate that one of the most imaginative, uh, innovative uh, studios, entertainment, or that portion of media that come out, and probably in my lifetime is probably Marvel Studios. I mean, the job they have done integrating their media or cinematic universe like they did the comic book universe has been just a complete, no pun intended, marvel. Has been something that has just been a wonder to behold. I've been on this journey for the last 10 years, coming up to 10 years, with Iron Man that was released in 2008, and I'd have to say that it has just been one incredible ride, one just, oh my God, one euphoric adventure after another. And I just like to say, I mean, what they have done, the job they have done, has just been something incredible. They have an embarrassment of riches, and I believe it's starting to show. So this video is basically, what in the hell are you guys trying to do now? I understand that you're feeling good. I understand that you're on top of the world. I mean, but what are you trying to do? Are you trying to give all, the fans in my age group, close to 50 or past 50, trying to give us all coronaries before this thing is complete? I mean, you are just putting too much out there for us right now. I mean, listen, I'm not complaining. You guys keep on going at the same pace that you're going. But oh my God, it's incredible. So it makes you wonder, what the hell are these guys trying to do? Feeling yourself a little too much now, and you're patting yourselves on the back. And listen, it's well deserved. But you've already crushed the competition. Sony, done. Warner Brothers, done. DC, they're done. I mean, you've already crushed the competition. There's nobody in your way. So, why all the overkill now? Again, not that I'm complaining, but it seemed like it's going down to overkill. Let me give you an idea of just a list of some of the most recent. And when you say recent in terms of Marvel, you're talking about like years in between. But some of the most recent movies. Let's go with Civil War. They followed that up with Doctor Strange. They followed that one up, I believe, with Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. You top that off with Spider-Man Homecoming. You just finish that off with Thor Ragnarok. All of those movies were incredible. I mean, all of these movies were iconic. All of those movies were incredible. It's just an unbelievable job. You would think that with all the success, that you guys would just not even care. And this is why you are so beloved by your fans. This is why everybody is either, it's two things. This is what I call, I put people into two groups. Either you're an MCU fan, or you're an MCU fan that's teetering and ready to go over, and you just don't know it. I don't care if your lawyers, if your alliances with Warner Brothers and DC. I mean, God bless you. I don't care if your alliances are with Sony and the things they can do. God bless you. I don't care if your alliances are with, I don't, Image Studios or something like that, and you just, are in your own bubble where you don't want to acknowledge the greatness that the MCU is purveying. God bless you. But you need to open your eyes, man, and see what's going on, because this studio, what they have done, has been nothing less than exceptional. Has been nothing less than exceptional. Those movies that I just put off on, the ones I just pointed out, the Civil War and the Doctor Strange and the Guardians of the Galaxy and that Spider-Man and that Ragnarok, all of those were epic. And that's like what, 5 movies? I mean, and all of those movies are epic. And this is just the most recent history. There's a YouTuber that I look at, Jody's Corner, and I remember he gave he stated an interesting point during one of his broadcasts, and he was saying that how somebody had wrote him and said that it was a kid, and he said that he had grew up, that he was 8 years old when I believe Iron Man came out, and he'll be finishing high school 10 years later with the Infinity War. I mean, and that is just a real perspective, and that little analogy that you saw that he demonstrated, this is going on all across the board. I mean, this is going on, for millions of guys just like him that are going through the same thing, are going to be raised and weaned in the same wonderfulness that we're all experiencing right now. But it's just an incredible concept and something to think of. Okay, but look at a run these guys are on. Look at what they have been able to accomplish, and look at that list of movies that I just presented to you earlier, and that was just their most recent 5. Okay, these guys are going to release Infinity War in May of 2018. They dropped a trailer on November the 29th that I believe it was the highest viewed trailer ever on YouTube. I believe no trailer in the history of movies ever received more views. And they dropped that, and it was like just giving you an idea of the magnitude of that movie. So I mean, it had so much hype going into it, just knowing it was just the Infinity War, and then that movie delivered on that. I mean, it had delivered, and when I saw that trailer, it was like, listen, I've raised 2 boys, so I was in that comic book thing with them too, and both of my sons were both Marvel comics. They chose that, not me. Or I could have just been here just as easily as just been indoctrinated in like DC comics or, Image Comics or some other comics. But they were reading Marvel comics. So as a father, you see what your kids are reading, and you happen to go through these things and pick these things and read these things, and the next thing I know, man, I'm just as indoctrinated in that genre as those guys are with the heroes and things like that. So I tell you something. So when I saw that Infinity War trailer, it was from someone who had read the Infinity Gauntlet, someone who had read the Thanos Quest, the Crusade. I mean, who know of this years, decades, maybe more than decades prior to seeing it. You can imagine how I felt, like being indoctrinated with that, for so long because of my 2 sons. So they dropped that on November the 29th, and it was actually just the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And I also liked that it also touched base on a positiveness to it. It had a theme of like connecting the heroes, and putting those heroes at the center of it, because I believe they're doing that is because in the end they're going to probably lose some of those heroes. And if you look at anything that came out of that D23 trailer, that illegal one that had leaked, the one that was in Comic-Con, D23, I mean, that whole trailer was like, wow. I mean, after you get through seeing that, you you know, just you know, take yourself something to calm your nerves, and just go and you know, get set up for counseling sessions. Because I mean, it was so depressing. Uh, that D23, that Comic Con trailer. So thank goodness that they had the good sense and sensibility that it seems like only Marvel has, DC and MCU has, uh, to lift that trailer and take excerpts from that trailer, but removed, you know, Thor getting his head crushed and Thanos throwing a whole planet at people. I mean, because it just ended very gloomy, So this one ended with much more spirit, much more hope. So, oh yeah, I like that. So that was on point. That was really really good. And okay, so that was November the 29th. I mean, just about a month later, or a little after that, a couple of months later, you dropped the Black Panther has its red carpet premiere, and they had that on what, the 29th of January. So Black Panther has its red carpet premiere, and man, I remember staying up. I couldn't even sleep the night before, waiting for those reviews, like those early reviews. They could just critique it. They couldn't give you any of the meat and potatoes, but they could critique it. And waiting for those early reviews just to make to see, how that movie was being accepted. And from what from what I've seen as far as those early reviews, man, I mean, from Variety and IGN and Collider, everybody just seemed like they loved it. From, I mean, everybody. I don't think I've heard one negative early review on Black Panther, and it's like incredible because that movie is going to be transformational as far as like culturally. And what a great job! I mean, what a great job. Matter of fact, I saw the red carpet event on Marvel Channel. Well, not Marvel. I don't know Marvel Channel. I saw it on YouTube, and and it was just it was just something to behold. I mean, it's something to behold, and I'm so proud of that Black Panther, especially being connected with people of color. So uh, so I'm kudos to that, and a good job. And from what I'm so happy that now the drama is out. Now I'm just waiting to see what the 90th scores on Rotten Tomatoes, because it's gonna probably just kick ass on Rotten Tomatoes too. So I'm really happy for that. And they say the advanced ticket sales of Black Panther rivals that of Civil War. So they're projecting Black Panther to make anywhere between 115 to 120 million dollars this opening weekend, and that is going to be major. I mean, that is going to be major. So, okay, and you only get a day. This is how ruthless Marvel is. This is just how ruthless the MCU is. You only get a day to defend off your anxiety, the anxiety neurosis that you felt for Black Panther, wanting it to be, accepted in one of these highly acclaimed movies, and it had a lot riding on it because it was also like so transformative, so it had a lot riding on it. So, and then to hear the reviews and hear everybody, loving it, and applauding it, that took off a lot of pressure. So you don't even get a chance to decompress from that. And then Marvel, as wicked as they are, they throw Ant-Man and Wasp at you the next day. Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out the day after, right? That trailer. And that trailer was lit. I mean, listen, I was a big Ant-Man fan from the first movie. Matter of fact, as far as my list of Marvel, Ant-Man is like in the top 6 or 7, I think, on my list. One of the better movies. I love the first Ant-Man. I mean, what they put into that movie, especially with the problems they had prior to Ant-Man being released, with the problem with Peyton Reed coming in and replacing the previous director who had put so many years into it. getting that character ready, and Peyton Reed had to come and pick it up and finish it off, and did an exceptional job. And Ant-Man was one of my favorite movies, and a movie that was well done. The plot, the character development. I mean, it was well done. Now you have Peyton Reed doing his own thing. Now he didn't went for the next movie from Edgar Wright, who had did the original Ant-Man before Peyton Reed took it over. Now he has his own hand in this, all his, and Ant-Man and the Wasp looks absolutely incredible. I've seen the trailer a few times now. It's like, oh my God! I mean, it looks absolutely incredible, and it looked like he done went on that expansion even more from the first one. I mean, the things that Wasp is doing, she looks incredible. The things she's doing is like, oh my God, Wasp-like as far as in the comics or whatever. She's running on knobs and ready to kick ass and all of these things. And this is the Wasp from the comic books. I mean, it looks right out of Central Casting. And this is one of the things that you have to love with Marvel. It's like they bring everything right out of Central Casting. These characters look like they just walked off the page of a comic book. I mean, incredible job. Everybody is bitching and crying about how Captain Marvel looks in that green colored outfit, but listen, trust Marvel, man. I mean, one thing they're into is the characters and getting these characters right. So I'm not even going to stress out, worry about her in those Kree colors. I'm sure in the end she'll look just like Captain Marvel. So away from that for the moment. But the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer looks like incredible. I think I saw a glimpse of Lawrence Fishburne. I believe he's going to be Bill Foster, which is also Goliath, who found some way to get some Pym particles of his own, and now he can grow into Goliath. So I think that's who Fishburne is going to play. He's going to play Bill Foster. And I also seen a little shot of Ghost. And I mean, if that's Ghost, then Ghost is is a pretty unique character themselves, because his job, he likes to go and like destroy corporations and sabotage companies and stuff like that. But Ghost has a pretty unique power base too. Once you get that robotic suit on, I mean, a pretty unique power base. Besides the super strength, can make herself or himself like I believe this is the female Ghost, but can make herself like intangible or invisible. So with superhuman strength, so that's just that power base alone should make him pretty formidable. Okay, look, I don't want to drag on this video. I just wanted to say that Marvel, you got to stop what you're doing. You need to stop this now. Listen, you've won. I mean, here, holding up the peace sign. I mean, you can just slow down. Actually, don't slow down. Continue doing what you're doing. I mean, we love you, and I'm proud to be a Marvel fan. I'm proud of the journey that you've partaken and have achieved, and keep up the good work. Okay. Thanks for tuning into The Expanse. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, please subscribe. I want to continue to do this, get bigger and bigger, get better equipment, and let's keep on moving. All right, deuces. Peace out.